Hey guys, DJ here with an Ally Mine Quasar deck profile. It's a deck one of my friends showed me. I thought it's pretty cool. It's got a lot of sweet combos and interactions in it, so it's a pretty fun deck, and it utilizes some of the changes on the new ban list, so I thought it'd be a cool one to show you guys. Centerpiece of the deck is 3 Ally Mine. It's a normal dark level 5 tuner, which in general is a lot of things that don't matter most of the time, but in this deck they're pretty relevant. So we have 6 cards that we're going to use to dump stuff out of our deck to get things like our Ally Mine into our graveyard, as well as some other combo pieces. These are 3 Summoner Monk, or 3 Greffer rather, 2 Summoner Monk and an Armageddon Knight. Greffer is the strongest of the cards. If you have like him and an Ally Mine, you can dump the Ally Mine and then your other cards like Level Eater to your graveyard. Summoner Monk can open up a lot of plays, especially with the Armageddon Knight, or Greffer if you draw a very certain hand with it, I guess. If you have like Monk Spell, Level Eater, Monk Spell, Ally Mine. There's a lot of combos in the deck. Nothing's really set in stone. You kind of just make synchros and draw cards. So like I can't really say any specific hand because there's so many search cards and everything. But from the cards we're trying to dump, we have the 3 Level Eaters and 2 Malicious. Malicious feels awkward to play 2 of, but in this deck you're going to frequently use it with another card we're playing, DD Sprite, to just special it from your deck and then remove that copy, so you're never going to get to use the 3rd. Plus, only playing 2 reduces the chance of bricking on multiples a lot. Then, our tuner engine, we have DD Sprite, 1 Unknown Synchron, and 3 Quick Draw Synchron. There's some awkward hands with, specific hands with Quick Draw, where you can make the Quasar very easily that way. DD Sprite is honestly the best tuner in the deck from my experience. It's very accessible with where Arthal it's in the deck, and it's pretty common where you'll be able to remove a Malicious or an Exceed you make or something to special it and keep going. Important cards in our deck are the Revival spells. We're playing 3 Swing of Memories, 2 Soul Charge, and 1 Silent Doom. The reason for this layout on them is Soul Charge is a brick in multiples turn 1. So you don't want to play too many of them, draw them all, and be stuck. Swing of Memories over Silent Doom, since you can attack if you go second or at any point in the game if you're trying to kill your opponent, and the extra 1800 from specialing Ally Mine matters. Silent Doom is still a fine card. It doesn't die at the end of the turn like it does with Swing of Memories, but in general it's going to be pretty irrelevant if you leave an Ally Mine on the board. I guess you could save your life with it for a turn, but more often than not you're just opening yourself up to Crimson Blader. And if you get Bladered in this deck, you pretty much lose. Then we have search spells. We have 3 Summoner's Art, searches for Ally Mine, 3 Where Art Thou. Really is just going to search for DD Sprite. I can search for some other stuff, but that's the target you're going to get. 2 Tuning, searches Unknown Synchron and Quick Draw. And 2 Reinforcement of the Army, searches out Greffer and Armageddon Knight. So we have a lot of search spells in our deck. It gives the deck a bit of consistency you wouldn't expect from a deck like this, a Glass Cannon Quasar deck. But having 10 search spells that all search out relevant combo pieces makes it a bit more reliable than you would expect. We also have Foolish Burial, since we want most of those combo pieces to be in our graveyard, like Level Eater, Malicious, Ally Mine. So again, it's basically 11 search cards. We also play Allure of Darkness. It's the only draw card in here right now. I do feel like this deck could play Upstart Goblin, but I have no idea where you make space for it. It's very, very tight, and shaving numbers, like in most decks when you try to fit Upstart in, you just shave your ratios so they stay approximately the same in a 37-card deck as opposed to in a 40-card deck. But you can't really do that in here since your deck is full combo. It's not like you're playing 2-3 defensive cards. You are just all in on going off, making some Quasars. And then our last spell is 1 for 1. Like the monsters, the 7 tuners, it's another copy of those basically. It can get a little cloggy because you have to draw it and a monster, and with all the Greffers and everything, you dump most of your monsters at the start of the game. So if you don't open this card, it can be a bit of a brick when you top into it. But then there's some games where you'll top it with a monster off like a formula with your Librarian in play, and it'll single-handedly win you the game. So it's not bad by any means. Again, really another search card, so your deck is all incredibly tutorable, and it's really just a machine tuned to keep churning out Quasars and Synchros. The extra deck is very, very tight. It's one of the more interesting parts of the deck, I think. We have 2 formulas. a huge change for this deck from the Forbidden Limited list was the addition of a second formula. We also have Hyper Librarian, Junk Warrior, and Armades for level 5s. You'll notice we have to play a lot of junk cards and stuff for our quick draw, so we can make tuners with him, or make synchros rather with him to keep going, drawing cards while we have our Librarian in play. Librarian is the most important card in the extra deck. You'll be making her first, like 99% of the time. We played Mistbird Colossus. Oh, I didn't realize there was a Catastrophe in here. Oops. We have Mistbird Colossus for sticky situations when you have formula up. You can make him with your level leader. Junk Gardna, Underground Arachnid, and Goyo Guardian. Junk Gardna is, again, a really good card on its own, actually, but it's key because of Quick Draw. Underground Arachnid is a card that you get to play because of Ally Mind and Level Leader. It's got a really awesome effect where when it attacks, your opponent can't activate spell or traps. That's pretty common. Then you can equip it to a monster your opponent controls, but that really doesn't happen all the time, I'd imagine. And then Goyo Guardian's pretty sweet. Quasar Dragon, obviously the linchpin of the deck. You're trying to make Quasars. Playing 2 of them, how often you make 2 in a game, will really decide how often you win, from my experience with it, very briefly. I know from other decks, making 1 Quasar turn 1 is awkwardly beatable. When you go second, you can make it and just kill your opponent, which is also really cool. Some people choose not to play Soul Charge in the deck, just max out on Silent Doom, so if they go second, they can just slam damage at their opponent's face. And then our last tuner is Black Rose, or Synchro rather. I don't know why I keep calling them tuners. Black Rose is necessary in the sense that it's a level 7. It offers you the most utility of any 7s, I think. And you don't need to play one you can make with Quick Draw in this deck, since you don't really have a way to make it. Then we have 2 Exceeds, Daigusto Emerald and Lava Chain. Emerald's normally used for the Reborn effect. It can get back a normal monster, so you use it to Reborn Ally Mind, which is very, very key. And Lava Chain is another dump card. You could also, in the extra deck, play M7, which is a little harder to make, but one of the things your deck struggles with is having your board overclogged, so you can make M7 to get rid of 2 of the synchros in play, or to bounce a card away, and keep your field fairly clean so you can keep making cards and going off. This deck suffers a little bit from losing the extra card going first, but it is still a deck you're going to choose to go first with, try to just make some Quasars. Other than that, there's not too much to say about it. It's full-on glass cannon. No matter how you try to change it, you can't really fit in trap cards or hand traps or anything. And sideboarding is incredibly difficult since, this part of the deck is tutors, this part of the deck is reborn spells, and it's just these piles of cards that you need to all play. Combo pieces and dump cards. Like, there's not really anything in here that you can cut. There's not really any ratios in here you can shave. So you're kind of stuck with what you're playing. You can cut some search cards when you're siding, maybe bring in hand traps, a couple trap cards, some Typhoons for floodgates, but by and large, you're stuck with what you main deck. It's a really awesome deck. It's very, very consistent for what it is, just going first and putting Quasars on the field, drawing cards. Is it the best deck to take to a tournament? Probably not, but it's awesome. And right now, I think that's what counts until we get the next set with the Shadow cards and the other new themes that are going to really shake up the format. One thing to keep in mind, it's a very short format, and until that set comes out, there's not too much to really play for. So right now is the best time to be a brewer, build some sweet decks, and have some fun. So with that in mind, if you guys have any other sweet deck ideas you want to see a profile for or something, let me know down below in the comments, and I'd love to throw some sweet decks together. Thanks for watching.